Hello, everyone, and welcome back. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington. So, before we dive into today's episode, which is Mauricio Umansky hot and heavy with his new boo thing, his new girlfriend, who is 33 years old. I mean, he's giving Kyle a run for her money by dating much younger. But before we dive in, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. Da 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 da. So this is according to da, 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 all about the Real Housewives. So apparently, Mauricio Umansky is head over heels for his new girlfriend. An insider tells Life and Style that Mauricio Umansky and his new girlfriend, Nikita Khan, are getting serious. Quote, Mauricio is head over heels for her. He's not dating anyone else and seeing her every chance he gets, the source said. He didn't want to make a show of things, but he's glad things are out in the open now. The insider also shared some insight into Mauricio Umansky's and Nikita Khan's relationship timeline. Even before the trip to Mykonos, they had been seeing each other for a while, like 2 or 3 months, the insider explained. So it seems the new couple has been seeing each other since April. However, the recent report notes that things between the real estate mogul and model became serious after their trip to Greece in July. That trip was magical and took them to a whole new level, the source admits. The insider added that Mauricio's move on another woman has been difficult for his estranged wife, Kyle Richards. She's trying to see the bigger picture, but it stings. Mauricio and the 33-year-old were first photographed kissing in Mykonos in Greece in July. Earlier this month, the two were spotted on the beach at the one and only Mandarina in Mexico. Okay. All right. Let's break this down. Number one, ugh, do we feel bad for Kyle that Mauricio is out dipping it and doing it with this gorgeous, super fit 33-year-old? Because Kyle has been parading, Morgan Wade being very coy, are they, aren't they, situation with a 28-year-old. I think Morgan is maybe 29, maybe 30 now, but at the time, 28. So she was parading that alleged, lesbian relationship. And when I say lesbian, I don't mean it in a derogatory way. That's just what it is. If you're a new listener, when we talk about sexuality or identity, we do it from a place of inclusion and love. So if we talk about it, I think we should normalize it. Just normalize talking about people's sexuality, talking about people's relationships. That's a whole different conversation. But anytime we talk about it, that's where we're coming from. Non-judgment, but love. Anyway, let's get back on track. Is this a case of what's good for the goose is good for the gander? So if she was out here, doing paparazzi photo ops, doing the absolute most, red carpets, taking her to events, showing up at her concerts, having, Morgan do cameos on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, knowing that the entire world is speculating that they are in a romantic relationship while fully still being married to Mauricio. And also prior to their split, because Kyle was linked to Morgan before Mauricio and Kyle went public with their separation, right? So she's doing all of this while they are married and while the world, quote, the world thinks they're still together. Now, is it fair for him to be like, well, you did me dirty. You were out here dipping it and doing it with Morgan, for the whole world to see. Well, now that we are officially separated, now that I have moved out, now that there has been some time and space between us taking a break from our marriage, it should be fair for me to go out here and dip it and do it with whoever I want to do it with because you've been doing it. Turnabout is fair play. I would agree with that and again, Kyle has not been my favorite person, but I have to be more on her side in this situation, given the fact that Mauricio has been out here playing in her face for years. So there's been allegations of him cheating with, women of the night, with, people who work at the agency, with her best friend Dorit Kemsley. There have been allegations of him cheating on her for years, of him being very flirtatious, of him having side chicks. And it has been public. It's been in the magazines, it's been in the blogs. They've always had a united front and they've always, denied the allegations. But that's still embarrassing. That still has to hurt. And where there's smoke, there's fire of the same allegations for decades. I'm not saying it's true, I'm saying they're allegations, but that has to hurt. And like Kyle said last season, for once the rumors are about me cheating and not you. So to me, it's more like, yeah, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, because you've made Kyle look dumb out in these streets for decades with your cheating allegations. So the one time she does it with Morgan, you throw a hissy fit. Now, with all that being said, I still have to be honest about a couple of things. Number one, it's still okay for Mauricio to move on. They are separated allegedly, so if he wants to move on and do what he wants to do, he's allowed to do that. And also at the same time, if there were all these cheating allegations, Kyle chose to stick beside him. So there's only a certain time when someone makes a fool of you until you make a fool of yourself by staying with someone who allegedly has been cheating on you for your entire marriage. Maybe she's been doing it too. Maybe they had an understanding. Maybe it was an open marriage and they didn't want to be honest about that. Maybe he got hall passes. Maybe she got hall passes because there was allegations about her too cheating. So who knows what the deal is? But my question is, are we going to see this Nikita on the upcoming season of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? Are, her and Mauricio going to get even more serious? Are we going to see some type of altercation between Kyle and, Nikita? I want to see what's going to happen there. What's the juice? What's really good? Because we are going to see in season 14, Kyle and Dorit go head to head, almost come to blows. As we know, there was all the rumors about Mauricio cheating on Kyle with Dorit, who was her best friend and her co-worker on the show. So that's a big deal. That's a big deal. Do I think that Mauricio and Dorit actually had sex? No, but do I think that there was an inappropriate sexual attraction between Dorit and Mauricio? Yes. Do I think it's appropriate enough to end a friendship? Yes. I personally would never mess with Dorit again if I was Kyle. But at the same time, I don't think Dorit ever respected Kyle. I don't think Dorit ever really even liked Kyle. I think Dorit used Kyle to stay on the show. And I think that once Dorit had her glow up, she lost weight, she got all her plastic surgeries, she got her new hair extension, she's got her new designer clothes. I'm not body shaming, I'm not doing any of that, but Dorit clearly has had some type of quote glow up. And I think once she did all that, I think she felt like, I'm so hot now. I'm so cool. I want a man more like Doricio. Kyle is whack. Kyle is neurotic. Kyle's this, that, and the third. Kyle is a clown. PK is, maybe not as attractive as she thinks Mauricio is. PK's money has been funny, all of that stuff. I think that Dorit wanted a complete glow up that would include the body and the clothes and Mauricio. That's what I really think is happening and what's going on here. But we'll see. And I want to know what you guys think about everything going on. Do you think what's good for the goose is good for the gander? Mauricio, you've been clowning Kyle out here on these streets. Kyle clowned you back. Now Mauricio is clowning her back with all of this. Or is it just people have the right to move on in relationships? They are separated, they're living apart. He wants to go out and find a new girlfriend. He has all the right to do that. Being a public figure, they're going to be, in the news and on the blogs. But also don't forget these quote insider sources. Usually it's just that celebrity's publicist. They're planting this story. Nobody is an inside source, it's their publicist. So usually everything we're reading about these celebrities is because they planted it themselves 95% of the time. 5% of the time, it's actually some random insider who is spilling all this stuff. Sure, Jan. So I want to know what you guys think. And will you be watching season 14? And I want to know what's going to happen between Kyle and this new girlfriend. That will be some juice. So put it down below. And as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and share.